Hi friends, it is your Monday morning practical. Today, I am spending a lot of time thinking about that quote from last week's Presence Project podcast. I just can't get it out of my mind. The idea that all that exists is God's gift to man, and it all exists to make God known to man, to make man's life communion with God. It is divine love made food, made life for man. And so I thought I would share a tiny bit about a little bit more from this tiny book. This is called For the Life of the World. And hi, Jessica. And Bonnie is watching as well. But this book right here, if you've ever wondered if you could have a larger view of what the material world was for, go ahead and listen to this. But the Bible, we have seen, always begins with man as a hungry being, with the man who is that which he eats. The perspective, however, is wholly different, for nowhere in the Bible do we find the dichotomies. We're talking about the dichotomy of the material world is secular, and the sacred world is spiritual. So that dichotomy, and in fact, a lot of people will use the word Gnosticism, Gnostism, which was a way of thinking around the time of the early church, where there was a really strong separation between the material world and the spiritual world. So some of that thinking has been passed down to us. And once again, he is trying to teach us that that is not the way God created the world. So in the Bible, the food that man eats, the world of which he must partake in order to live, is given to him by God, and it is given as communion with God. The world as man's food is not something material and limited to material functions, and thus different from and opposed to the specifically spiritual functions by which man is related to God. So stay with me here. All that exists is God's gift to man, and it all exists to make God known to man, to make man's life communion with God. It is divine love made food. So as I was traveling yesterday and finally getting home, it always feels good to walk in the front door and know that we get to sleep in our own bed after a long trip. But the idea, as I'm passing through the Smoky Mountains and seeing these beautiful mountains, just one pocket after another that you can see, and just realizing all that exists is God's love towards us. All that exists, it is divine love made food. And that particular line became what should I say? Not the mantra, I hate that word, but it was the words that kept playing over and over in my mind. This beauty is divine love made beauty. This flower that I'm seeing is God's love made manifest to me. And just throughout the day, as I would do that, recognizing this is not just haphazard. This is God's way of speaking. That became the food, I guess, that I ate all day long. So I just wonder, over the next few weeks, I'd like for us to have some times, and I'll find those times. I'll make sure that I publicize them right here on the Presence Project, of when we could get together and do some of that kind of meditation together. Essentially, all of us bringing an orange to the table and smelling the orange, tasting the orange, being fully present with the orange, and then asking the Lord, Lord, how are you desiring to speak? How are you desiring to make yourself known? How are you using this as divine love made manifest to me? So we can do that with an orange, we can do that with some bread, and I'm looking forward to doing that with you and finding ways that we can do kind of the 10 minutes of stillness together with something specific. Anyways, I hope that as you walk into your day today, and I know many of you are already at work, you're already moving fast through your to-do list, but as you do, to look up, to spend a moment to get present and to say, Lord, how are you making your love manifest in my everyday, ordinary moment right now? Love you, friends. It's good to be with you again. Bye.